Okay, so welcome back to another edition of the Nerdcast. My name is Dan Chessel, and this is your number one source for all things nerdy, geeky in the city of Edmonton. Tonight, we are joined by Tom from, Rigby Muldoon, Bad Situation. I just about forgot all that. This is a Kickstarter project that's coming up on Kickstarter right now. Is that correct?
That is correct. We have been working on this project for the better part of a year, and we actually shot it this summer and are in post-production at the moment. It is a sci-fi noir comedy, and of course with the sci-fi there are special effects. So we're actually doing the Kickstarter fundraiser to help us support paying for the post-production special effects. So time warps and laser blasts and that sort of thing.
Awesome. So we'll talk a little bit more about that a little bit later on as the show will progress. But first off, I'd like to ask you, how was your week?
My week was pretty good. I got some exciting news later on last week. I actually was part of a couple of projects for the latest Story Hive grant round for the animation. And one of them ended up getting selected. It's called Jerry Mouse, and it's all about a little homeless mouse who ends up finding a place to live in a homeless shelter. And it's actually written by a woman who is involved with social work in hospitals, and so she's written a series of books which she uses to help educate people. And now it's being turned into an animation. So we're just in the beginning processes of that and finding out what we'll be needing to do when. So that's pretty exciting. Went to see a couple movies this week as well. I went to see Doctor Strange.
Ooh, how'd you like it? Now I've also seen the movie, so I want to hear your take on this.
I enjoyed it. It did not blow me away. The special effects were pretty fantastic, but I found like they were overly complex for not that complex a story. That's, I guess, sort of my general take on the movie. And I mean, again, obviously it was pretty mind-boggling, the worlds and twists in those worlds that occur. But I don't think I walked out of that feeling super satisfied at the end of it.
No?
It was okay. The story wasn't... I felt like there should have been more to the story, I guess. And the world, again, going sort of back to the world, I just kind of felt like the world wasn't super well built in it. Yeah, I kind of left with a few questions.
That's okay. I mean, for the most part, you're probably right. There's more that they could have probably done. However, it's Doctor Strange, which was probably, I mean, it's such a obscure character, right? So
yeah, and I've been aware
I think what they did with him was pretty good.
It was pretty neat. I wanted it to be more... There wasn't as much mystery as I kind of hoped. They kind of gave you these magics and that sort of thing, and it just was, and there wasn't a whole lot of struggle to get them sometimes, and I would have liked it to be a little more difficult and a little... make me leaving going, wow, what does that mean, versus, wow, I didn't get it.
Yeah, it seemed like it was really easy to use the magical powers, right? Like, all you have to do is just wear this, and that's it. And you're thinking, why didn't we just have this all the time anyways, before all this, right? Like, This should have been a thing.
Why is he the guy?
Yeah. Like, yeah. It didn't really make, it didn't make a compelling argument of why they picked him. But I mean, for the most part, I think with that whole, like you're saying, the CG, the way they shaped those worlds that he was playing around in, was just absolutely crazy.
Yeah, definitely candy for the eyes.
Yeah, it was definitely was.
And then I went and saw Trolls as well, which was, I would say, a bit of a disappointment. I went with my couple of nieces, and again, it was kind of the same issue. I kind of found it a little bit boring. The world wasn't super well built, and so like they did all these things, but who knows if it really made sense. And anyway, so yeah,
Yeah, I know my boy went to go see Trolls. He really liked it, but I haven't gone to see it, so I don't know what that one's all about.
Yeah. And then my big nerdiness this week, which was pretty fun yesterday, I went on the Quick and Slow comedy show podcast, and we actually played Epic Spell Wars, the
Nice.
card game Epic Spell Wars, which I've never played before and was the first to die. However, my little consolation on that was everybody else died in that same turn, so I don't feel too badly.
Now, Trina.
Yes.
Now that you're here, how was your week?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
It was Christmassy.
I'm gonna make sure you're coming in through.
Can you hear me?
I'll turn you up a bit more.
I don't know. What did we do this week?
I don't know.
I did more crocheting.
Yep.
I don't think I have a new one from last week, though.
No?
No, I finished my Wookiee, or my Ewok.
You're starting on a BB-8 now?
Yeah. That's pretty much it.
That sounds pretty cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, so-
I got a Star Wars crochet set from Costco. And I've been making Christmas presents.
Very nice. Daniel, I know you went to the Classic Video Game Championships this weekend?
I did not make it.
Oh, you did not go.
No, I wanted to. But no, I wasn't able to.
We were too busy Christmasing.
Yeah, we were too busy Christmasing. We this was the one weekend that I was actually able to stay home and actually, with
decorate
with everybody. And so we actually got our Christmas decorations up this weekend.
That's very nice.
So we managed to get our tree up. We got our Christmas village put together.
Which I said should be a Lego Star Wars Christmas village. I think that's going to be our next thing. Try and figure that out.
Yeah.
Who plays the baby Jesus in that scenario?
I don't know. We have the Lego Advent calendar, the Star Wars one this year, so we'll have to see what we can come up with in that one.
Yeah. We've been typically we like to get the Lego calendars for
we did for a few years, and then they got expensive.
But yeah, they are super expensive, those stupid things.
I got them on sale though, so I was pretty excited. Our kids are pretty excited.
I'm surprised that they actually go on sale at some point.
Yeah, well, I think it was a loophole because it was like all $49.99 and up, and under Star Wars, Lego Star Wars on sale. So I went and asked, and the lady's like, "Yep, it's ringing up." I'm like, "All right." I didn't put an asterisk, so
bonus. Yeah. So we did that. What else did we do? I got my tickets for the movie, Rogue One. They went on sale last night, and it took me a while to realize that because when I first went on there, it was giving me the 16th,
the
Friday, which was 2:00 in the morning, and I'm like, "There's no, I can't do a 2:00 in the morning show."
Not 15 anymore.
I'm not 15. And so, it took me a while to realize that I clicked around a little bit more and found that there was some actual times on the 15th, which were a little bit earlier. So I'm going on Thursday. I'm super excited for it. Are you going to watch Rogue One when it comes out?
I sure am. I don't know how quickly, but I sure will. I enjoy the Star Wars.
I'm not as excited about this one. I'm just like, I'll go when I get a chance. Not that big of a deal as last year was.
I'm assuming that the plot in this is going to be absolutely fantastic, that it possibly will be the greatest Star Wars so far.
Yeah.
But
I'm afraid that it all came out in the trailers.
We've already watched the movie, huh?
Yeah, like you don't need to watch the movie.
Well, you know how it ends.
Yeah.
You know how it kind of what the whole point is. So I don't know. We'll see how it is. I'm intrigued mostly by what they add to the Star Wars universe, right? Like what kind of ships do they give you? What kind of different races of aliens and stuff like that. That stuff always intrigues me. So I'm curious.
And I feel like with prequels, you have to be smart as well if you're going to be adding things that weren't in any of the after movies, that it makes sense that they weren't there. Because that's always annoying when they have neat things happen in the sequel and then you go back to the originals and, well, that was really cool. Why wasn't that a part of that storyline?
Exactly.
So
I don't know. Like sometimes you're like, they just didn't.
They just didn't.
I don't know. Who knows? Maybe they only had a couple of them.
it's true. Well, it's just the writers just have to be careful that they're taking that into consideration.
Yeah, they have a whole elite squadron of X-wings that they're all stealth.
They're stealth, and they all were destroyed.
Yeah, and they were
during the course of that movie.
Yeah, they were conveniently wrecked. They were all brand new. It was the only brand new ships that the rebellion ever had.
And all the technology surrounding them was destroyed, I guess, as well.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Exactly. It was part of the Death Star.
The only place they get no backups, just the one set of information in the Death Star.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was pretty much it. I think I did something else, but I can't remember what it was.
I don't know.
I'm living a boring life the last little while.
Week?
So.
Yeah, I don't think we did anything during the week. Did you out?
No.
Did you play a game last week? No.
No.
No, we did nothing.
We have our big game this weekend.
Do we? Oh.
Yes. So that's it. Let's get a little bit more about what Rigby Muldoon is. And we'll start off by asking Tom, when did you get involved with this project?
So it was written by my friend Robin Slack, who is a local artist. He's a part of Success 5000, which is a musical comedy duo, and then he does a lot of comedy sketch writing. And I met him a few years ago. And Rigby Muldoon actually started as a fringe play. And the year before that, we had done another fringe play written by Robin. So I had sort of been working with him and the group for a while before that. And so it was the 2015 Fringe that we actually created or mounted a show called Rigby Muldoon, Time Traveler for Hire.
Oh, okay, that might be why it sounds familiar.
Yeah.
It sounds vaguely familiar.
And it did very well. We ended up selling out all our shows, and we thought it would be We thought it would be worthwhile to turn it into a feature. So we started working on a feature script based off that play. And as we were going along, we thought, well, it might be smart to do a little concept short. If we're going to be going after a feature, that's going to require quite a bit of money. So it might be smart to have something to sell it with. And so that's where Rigby Muldoon Bad Situation came from. And so that sort of, that started, I guess it's been about a year that we started work on the short. And then, as I said, we shot it this summer and are now working on post-production. The actual idea for the play, so the origin of it, Robin is notorious for coming up with titles before he has any ideas. So the first Fringe play...
that's opposite of me. I'm like, title? Are you kidding?
I'm the same way. I often, I give it some sort of title and then I'm like, I'll rename it later.
Yeah.
The first Fringe play we did was called A Series of Grisly Murders at Lonsdale's Record Shop, which was a period piece actually set here in Edmonton in the 1920s, all about a fellow who discovers the death note on his piano, which seemingly kills people when he plays it. And so we did that, and then the fall, I guess shortly after the Fringe ended, Robin came up with another title, which was Rigby Muldoon, Time Traveler for Hire, which he worked on over that winter, and we then mounted that following summer. So
cool. I'd love to know where he actually got the name Rigby Muldoon from, because it's so epic.
It's pretty iconic. Yeah, Robin's got got a good mind for coming up with good names and catchphrases, and yeah. Well, you can see with those sort of titles how, you could just begin with the title and try and build a story from there.
Yeah, and hope it's good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you guys did the Fringe play. So let me ask you a little bit more about what kind of work went into building your guys' Fringe play.
So Robin, started working on the play, on the script over the winter of 2014, 2015. And we all sort of he got feedback from us. And then we went into rehearsals in spring of 2015. I don't usually work in theater. These are my two big experiences in theater. And it's very different from film, which I have more experience with. There's so much rehearsal time put into it.
Yep.
And so it's really interesting working through the rehearsals, what people can figure out as the actors and the director, and trying to make, changes that make things work. And of course, once it's one thing reading a script, and totally another thing when people are standing in place, doing actions, and finding out what, again, does and doesn't work, and having to fix things that way. So, yeah, we worked on rehearsals through the spring of 2015, and then put it on for that Fringe that year.
Cool.
So you're saying that you typically don't work in theater as well, at all? What is your experience?
Sorry, with theater or otherwise?
No, just otherwise.
I'm a writer, and I have been involved with film and video work for the past 5 or 6 years through groups like FAVA is sort of where I started here in town, which is the local film co-op, and just meeting people through that, getting onto sets and, doing production assistant work. And I sort of fell into the line of doing some grip work, which is, helping get things set up for lights and making sure, helping the director of photography and that sort of thing make the lighting work properly. And so just through that, I got a fair amount of experience on sets. And then a couple of years ago, I shot my own short film called Change, which is all about a little change purse that gets separated from its lady at the laundromat. And so it's a live action with animation short, because we gave arms to the purse afterwards. And actually our lead female actor from Rigby Muldoon was actually in that one as well, Karina Morton. And and then I've worked with Success 5000, ended up shooting one of their music videos and working with that group, because it's, Robin and Josh are Success 5000, the musical duo, but there's also Success 5000, which produces videos and short movies and that sort of thing. So I got involved with them and started doing work that way as well.
Cool. Awesome. So you were saying, I'm just going to quickly jump back here for a second. But you said you were working with FAVA. Can you quickly elaborate what FAVA is to some people? I know what FAVA is, Trina. And,
I was a member for a while.
Trina was a member for a while. But can you quickly tell people what that is?
Sure. So it's a film co-op here in town. So they have a lot of equipment and resources in terms of people and information. If anybody's interested in filmmaking, it's an excellent place to start out, because, again, there's a lot of knowledge, and actually as a co-op, they provide a lot of the equipment you join and become a member. So they provide a lot of equipment at very reasonable prices, much cheaper than you'd find at a regular rental place, and really allow you to try and explore film and make whatever you want. So they're very much into the independent film scene.
They are pretty fantastic. I mean, the prices that they will give you when you are a member are phenomenal. You won't beat them. And on top of it, there's just a wealth of knowledge in that building, of people who know what they're doing and can give you guys, like anybody, a hand on building up a project, which is pretty fantastic.
That's right. There's like just the staff there are great, and then there's a lot of courses they offer if it's in screenwriting or learn how to light or learn how to use a camera, some acting. So again, it's pretty great. Yeah, pretty great for learning a lot.
So can you tell me a little bit more about some of the other projects you've worked on?
So for myself, again, as I said, I'd shot this short film a couple of years ago, and then I shot a music video for Success 5000, and then it's been a various people's music videos that I've helped out on. So it's been pretty interesting seeing different styles, the way different people approach shooting, and I actually worked on, it was a romantic comedy feature, 40 Below and Falling, that shot a couple of years ago, which I worked on that as well in the grip department. And that was pretty interesting as well. Learned a lot doing that.
So let's go back into Rigby Muldoon. You guys, how long have you guys been working on this project for?
So the short, again, we sort of started about a year ago. We started working on the script, and it's actually based off from the play, a scene that takes place earlier on in the play in a bar where we sort of, it's the introduction of Annie and Rigby, and we ended up altering it from the play because, again, theater and film and video are quite different.
They're very different beasts.
in the way you want to be portraying things you can get away with in theater that you can't when you're doing it on screen. Because, again, I mean, even in the play, we had a lot of special effects. There were people getting frozen and time warps and that sort of thing. And, you use lights and blackouts so that people can disappear. But that, of course, doesn't really work the same way in film. So we had to approach how we were going to tackle the special effects, because as a concept film, we want to show off, what our imaginations are going to build with a bigger film. And so we wanted to give a taste of the special effects without it costing us tens of thousands of dollars. And the other thing too, with it just being a short, we wanted to make it fairly self-contained so that you can watch this movie. We can take it to festivals and people can watch it, and it's a little self-contained story itself. So we made a few alterations from what was going on in the play and what we were imagining for the feature as well. So yes, we started working on the script, and there's actually three of us that came together to produce this. So it's myself, Robin Slack, who's the writer and director, and Katie Cutting, who is the director of photography. And the three of us are producing the film together. So we started trying to figure out, how big of a production do we want this to be? What is possible? How much money do we have? And unfortunately, we applied for some grants and they did not come through. So we actually financed the shooting portion of it ourselves with a whole lot of, I will call it, volunteer time from a lot of very talented technicians and actors. And, what we actually spent is not what it was worth to make. Like we were very lucky to have a lot of people contribute their time to this.
Cool. So it's live action. Is there animation as well, or how are you going about doing the special effects?
So there will be, it's going to be CGI that we're adding, and for some of it, it was just a matter of, we added some lighting effects, practice. So we worked hard with the individual who is going to be doing our VFX, whose name is Andrew Nelson, to try and come up with doing as much of the special effects in camera as possible, with the knowledge that some of it is definitely going to be, green screened and laser blasts and that sort of thing. So we try to enhance what some of the CGI will be practically, providing some practical lighting effects. And as I said, we set up green screens for some of the scenes. So we put some time and effort into trying to make it look good while keeping it as simple as possible.
Cool.
So you guys were saying it's a short. So how long is the actual film going to be for?
We're looking. We've got a rough cut together, and it's sort of in the 7-minute-ish realm. We still have some editing to do, but the time should not be changing significantly from that. So we're looking at 6 or 7 minutes, depending on how it comes out in the end.
And you guys, you've already done all the principal shooting, so it's just the visual effects. That's sort of your guys' Kickstarter at the moment is just for the
post.
The post, pretty much.
That's right. That's what we're focusing on because, as I said, we've got time warps, we've got laser blasts, and people freezing, and all that sort of thing. So, it's hard to ask somebody to be putting because some of it will take a considerable amount of time to just volunteer those hours. So that's, again, where we're looking for some help to help pay the artist to do this.
Cool.
So how long have you guys been working on this one little project then for? It's not... Sorry. So I probably asked that already.
Yeah. So it's been the past year, and what our hope is to get the post-production going. I mean, we've started some preliminary post-production already, thinking about what we want certain things to look like, and we're hoping to get the post-production wrapped up for this spring, so that we can make some of the submission deadlines for some of the bigger festivals, because what inevitably happens with the bigger festivals is they want it hasn't been run before, so they want first screening rights, and we may or may not get into them. I sure hope we do, but if it has screened somewhere else, then we're already disqualified. So a lot of those deadlines start. Well, I mean, it goes year round, but some of the ones we have our eyes on begin in the spring. So
cool.
Yeah, I think a lot of the festivals kick up in that time. Especially for film festivals and stuff like that. So how are you guys doing on your funding right now?
We are looking for $4,000 to help with this, which should basically cover the visual effects portion. And we are currently, last time I checked a little bit earlier this evening, we are at about $1,700 with 8 days to go. So we're getting there. And I'm feeling pretty confident that we'll reach that $4,000 by the end of it. Part of what has been going on, some of the rewards are actually songs that Success 5000 will write for you. So you can give them a theme or a topic, and they'll write a little song that's and perform it on video for you.
Oh, that would be a great way to propose to somebody or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's again, you can pick. I mean, you can pick weird things.
One nice love song.
That's right. You can pick something for somebody else.
Insane.
So yeah, that's one of the rewards we're offering, which is pretty fun. It's $40 to get yourself a custom song. So
that's not bad for a custom song at all.
And that's a steal of a deal right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if you're out there listening to this or watching this, go and back this project because you'll get a song out of it.
And you can check out on our Facebook page. If you just search Rigby Muldoon, you'll find the Facebook page. We've been posting some of the songs already. So if you want to get a taste of what you'll get, cool. Robin and Josh are pretty funny guys, and some of the suggestions that people would like made into songs are pretty silly. So it's a lot of fun. Yeah. So yeah,
that sounds like a cool project just in and of itself.
Yeah. And then one of the other things that we're offering for $40 is a Rigby Muldoon Paradox T-shirt, Time Paradox T-shirt. which was actually designed by our director and writer Robin Slack, who is a visual designer as well. And it's a big flow chart that takes you through how you broke the space-time continuum. And it's pretty funny and pretty great. And he wrote all the paradoxes himself. A number of them he came up with his own paradoxes. So it's a pretty great T-shirt as well.
Cool.
So why the space-time continuum? Like, why go that route?
I think as we were just trying to come up with something that was time travel related. Again, the Rigby Muldoon brand isn't super well known, so we wanted something that was a little, anybody could sort of jump into and get a handle on. So, how did you break the space-time continuum? Most people kind of figure that out. And
space-time continuum shows.
Yeah, so that's how that came about.
Yeah, every time we watch something with time traveling, Trina's
drives me nuts.
Yeah, Trina's like, I don't get why things have to change.
I just don't like this space time business.
It can get very complicated, and a lot of the time it's not done well, and that's always really disappointing. And so again, Robin has put a lot of thought into how the time travel works in our story as well.
That's the worst, is when there's holes in your theory and it doesn't stand up. So
exactly.
Yeah, you got to write all the explanations behind it all, and
because somebody's always going to sit there, and especially again with theater, it's not such a big deal. People come in for the theater experience and they have it and they leave and that's it. But again, with film and video, it's something people may watch more than once, and that's where you can sit there and really pick at these things. So
Yep.
going both this short and the feature film, we've spent a considerable amount of time trying to work out how it works and does that make sense. And
yeah. So what are your time goals for the feature film? When do you hope to start, and how long do you think it'll take?
Oh gosh, I'm sure it'll be years before it comes out, simply because finding funding can take periods of time, especially with grants. Some of these grants are it's 6 months from now that they'll be making their decision, or longer than that. And then all especially with a feature. I mean, this was the largest production any of us have put together ourselves, and just the amount of work that went into it, and it was very as we finished, we're like, wow, we could have put a lot more work into that, and that would have made a lot of sense. There's just so much preparation that goes into filmmaking, and so that with the funding, if everything went super great, maybe it'll be a year and a half. We might be able to start shooting, but I think that might be. Even that might be a little bit optimistic, but yeah, so I don't know. We're kind of looking at 2-3 years maybe is what we would be hoping for producing the feature film, if everything went quite smoothly, I think. But again, that's sort of how it goes a lot of the time, depending on the kind of movie you're shooting, of course. And with this one, because we have the special effects, all that starts adding up in terms of time. It's not a little movie about a couple of people that you can just shoot quickly at a few locations and edit together and it's pretty much ready. With all the post-production, it just makes it so much longer.
Yeah.
So
that's the one thing about a video. It's every time you watch it, you're like, oh, I could have done that one little thing differently, and it would change this whole thing, and then you always pick it apart because you watch it over and over and over again, right? But when you show it to people and people are like, wow, that was fantastic, it was flawless, whatever, you're like, I know all the mistakes, I know all the different things that are going wrong with this thing, but it's tough, right? Because it's like you're so invested in it all the time. Because you watch it over and over and over again.
Yeah, And I mean, video, I find that with sort of all projects that, especially artistic projects, there's always another level of perfection you could have added to it. So it's having to weigh, you know, when have you reached that level where you have done a good job that, you know, to make it more perfect just would take so much longer and many more resources. And yeah, so, and I think a lot of that can really come in the planning. So if you plan out really well, you are able to get what you want as effectively as possible and really, you know, save yourself time and effort, because trying to fix things after is always a huge hassle and may or may not work. So
yep, and then you got reshoots.
Yeah, that's it.
And that is not fun.
No.
Well, that was awesome. So where can people find Rigby Muldoon?
So a lot of our social media is going on Facebook. So if you go to www.facebook.com/Rigby Muldoon, or just simply search Rigby Muldoon in Facebook, it will pop up. We have as the little icon, it's a little Rigby Muldoon time traveler for hire business card as the profile image. And on Twitter, you can find us at Rigby Muldoon. And if you go to Kickstarter, which please go to Kickstarter and check out our project, it is Rigby Muldoon, Bad Situation. And I actually found that if you simply type Rigby into Kickstarter, it's the top hit on there. Nice. Yeah, and if people want to go to if they go to the Kickstarter, they can take a look at all our rewards, and there's some pretty fun ones on there. I talked about the T-shirt and the musical song. We also, it's a little more locally based, but if you are in or around Edmonton, you can go on a funny date with several of the leads from the film, who are mostly comedians, because we've got Robin Slack and Joshua Lee Koss, who's the other half of Success 5000 and plays Rigby in the film. We've got Karina Morton, who plays Annie, who is the other lead actor. We've got Nick McQuick, who is a local stand-up and actor. And
we've had on the show before.
Yeah, he's a pretty funny guy. And we've also got Lisa Baker, who makes an appearance in the film. Sorry, the funny date is you'll get to go on a date to a comedy show with a couple of these folks and get to chat with them and see some of the humor that makes up them.
Is it a time travel date as well?
Sure. You know what? I bet you could ask some of these folks, could you be from this period? And they would speak to you. And yeah, that might be a fun thing to do.
Extra
you can make requests. Yes, indeed. And actually, one of our higher up rewards is we will actually shoot a movie for you. Ooh. If you want to write a 3-minute film, we will take your script and we will actually turn it into a movie for you.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That is well worth that.
These are some
that donation money.
Pretty awesome rewards out there. Like, I mean, I'm kind of. We gotta go.
We gotta go check it out.
Yeah,
is that what you're saying?
So yeah, go check out Rigby Muldoon. Are you guys going to be doing the Fringe again this year?
Robin was certainly interested in doing another Fringe show. We actually didn't do a Fringe show last year because we were working, or in 2016, this year, I guess, because we were working on the film. But Robin had said, I kind of miss doing the Fringe. So I cannot confirm it, but I suspect that he'll want to try and do another Fringe show this year. And they're always quirky and funny, and yeah.
Cool.
So we will see what happens there. So again, if people want to check out the Kickstarter, again, that song and that T-shirt are a lot of fun and very reasonable reward price.
Yeah, for sure. It sounds like one of the best Kickstarter rewards I've heard of yet.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming out today. This has been fantastic. And I've watched the little bit you guys have on your Kickstarter page. It's pretty exciting stuff there. So yes, I encourage everyone out there to go and check out Rigby Muldoon on their Kickstarter page, and go and support local. Support local arts in Edmonton, which is a big thing, right? So
Absolutely.
that is awesome. I want to thank you so much for coming out. I'm gonna do some announcements about some events that are coming up.
Are there any events coming up?
There are none.
Christmas is coming up. Hanukkah is coming up. I believe Kwanzaa is coming up as well, but we don't celebrate that one around here. So.
Yeah. So we got absolutely nothing. I've been looking. I've been keeping my eye out on Facebook. There's a couple little things here and there, but nothing too major. So it's gonna be quiet for the month of December. Go enjoy your Christmas parties. And for us as the Northern Nerd Network, this is episode 61, by the way. I don't think I mentioned that earlier. I don't think I ever mentioned that at all on many of my podcasts. I should do that more often. But that's for us. We are done for the month of December, right?
Yeah, we're going to take December off because we are busy people, and so are you.
Yeah, well, Chelsea's in the middle of moving right now, so my co-host is gone. We have come up into some territory where we are getting way too overrun at the moment. So it is Christmas time, right? So things happen. And we'll be back in January with a whole slate of new guests and new things coming up. I believe we have a few people already lined up, or getting lined up. Like I have some notes, people podcast. So that is going to be awesome. Greg Beaver and his co-host there will be joining us. What is another one?
I don't know. I'd have to go look at our notes.
We have
a few people we've been chatting with, but
yeah,
be a good season.
We are very excited for January to come. So yes, keep an eye out for that. That is it. That is all.
I just want to thank you guys very much for having us on. And just in terms of events, I'm actually going to be participating in or going to the Nerdlist Kickstarter networking and board game night tomorrow night at 7 p.m. at the Gamers Lounge, which is at 104th and 124th Street. And so I have not been to one before, but it's Kelly, and is it Froese?
It's Froese.
Froese. I have not heard the name, just seen it written. So Kelly Froese, and if people are interested in learning about Kickstarter, come down and check it out. I'll probably be talking a little bit about what we've been going through, and I'm interested to hear what other people's experiences are as well.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I'm excited to actually meet some Kickstarter people tomorrow. So I'm very, very excited for that event. That is it. That is all. I want to thank everybody out there for watching and or listening to this edition of the Nerdcast. And I'll see you guys on the next one.